Hello everybody and welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at Daheim. But before that, this video is brought to you by Dwayne Unruh and UTB. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Daheim map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now, while the map download is 317 megabytes in size, this map does have 7 required mods. So after we factor in those 7 required mods, we're looking at a total download size of 372 megabytes. With respect to those required mods, we have the hunting pulpit, very old timber frame barn, shed package, meadow fence pack, wood shed, cow shed, and Polish manure plates pack. Let me go ahead and read you some of the description. The map, Daheim, is inspired by the rural beauty of central Germany and offers a relaxing gaming experience for both single player and multiplayer with up to recommended 3 players. At the heart of the map lies a charming villages, inviting you to linger with their picturesque half-timbered houses. Surrounding the villages are various farms, sell points, production sites to enrich country life. With respect to the farms on the map, we have the main farm, which is going to have 2 cattle areas and chickens. We also have a dairy at the main farm. We have a secondary farm, which is going to be for goats and chickens, and it's going to have another dairy there, focusing on goat milk. We also have the ability to buy a sheep pasture, horse pasture, 2 different cattle pastures, and then there are 2 areas on the map with barns that are associated with farmlands, for your ability to store things like bales or machinery. Now, the farms are built into the map. They're not really intended to be sold, and therefore, if you do want to build something out, there's an area in the southwest that is set up for that. This map includes 29 arable fields from 0.62 to 7 hectares in size, 5 meadows from 0.6 to 1.28 hectares, and 2 forest areas. One is 0.59 hectares, and the other is 1.34. This map does include a custom crop counter with the ability to plant wheat and barley in the spring. And we also have stubble destruction for wheat, barley, oats, corn, sunflowers, canola, sorghum, soybeans, and grass. With that said, let's jump back over here to the map itself and take a look at the PDA. Now, this is a smaller than standard size map. I've zoomed all the way out, and typically, right, your PDA is about this size. So I'm saying that we're looking at about a quarter to a 30% size map with respect to a standard size. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim on this particular map. And if we zoom in, let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland that we start out. If we do select to own the farm, we start out by owning farmland ID 43, which is going to be the main farm. We can buy that for $305,496 in any alternate game mode. And this is going to have 2 cow pastures and chickens, as well as a dairy for the production of various milk goods. We have farmland ID 44. We have farmland ID 32 and farmland ID 6, also owned at the start. As far as other farms on the map, we have a sheep or goat pasture at farmland ID 42. We have horses at farmland ID 5. We have cows at farmland ID 46, as well as farmland ID 36. And then we have a secondary farm at farmland ID 26, which is going to be for chickens, sheep, or goats, because we do have a goat milk dairy also down here at farmland ID 26. With respect to our precision farming soil map, we are looking at the EU soil map that does come with the precision farming mod. As such, you can see all the way over here to the east, we've got a band of silty clay that's covering almost the majority of the eastern side. Then that is also right next to a band of sandy loam and then loam. With respect to the fields we own at the start, field 32 is a mix of sandy loam and loam, whereas field 6 is going to be mostly loam. As mentioned in the description, we do have a custom crop counter. You see we have entries here for March, for barley, and for wheat, as far as the ability to plant those in the spring. We do start out with some animals at the main starting farm. We start out with 5 cows in one of the pastures and 3 calves in the other barn. Then we have 6 chickens also at the chicken coop. If we do happen to buy the other animal areas, which we will here in a little bit, you will see that all of the animal areas do come with animals also. We do have contracts available on this map, and with respect to productions, there are 5 different productions scattered around the map. We own the farm dairy here at the main starting farm. When we buy the sheep farm to the south, we'll gain a goat dairy as well. Then we also have the bakery, the main dairy in town, grain mill, sawmill, and tailor shop. And there's also a couple greenhouses scattered around the map as well, that if you do buy the land, you will have access to those. With respect to sell points, I counted up 9 different sell points on this map. We're going to run down through the vehicles here in a moment. This map does not have any hand tools, and this map also does not have any collectibles. Now, with respect to our starting fleet, we do start out with a dirt bike in the Aprilia RX 125. We've got the John Deere 3650 small tractor, as well as the Fiat 18090 DT medium tractor. We have the forklift, and an interesting bit of starting machinery there, as well as front loader arms. And for the front loader arms, we have a manure fork and a big bag lifter. We have the Brantner Z 18051/2 XXL PowerFlex trailer and the FarmTech EDK 650 trailer. We also have the Horsch Credo 3. That's typically paired up with the Horsch Versa Cedar. We have the Pottinger Servo 25 plow, as well as the Eco Cultivator 300 cultivator. We have the Amazon ZATS 3200 fertilized spreader, the FarmTech Super Cease 800 slurry tanker, as well as the Brantner TA12050 power spread plus manure spreader. And then we have the Puler 600 weeder as well. We've got our Massey Ferguson 8570 harvester, our 8570 grain header, and header trailer. With respect to mowing, we have the Semez XT390 trailed side mower. We also have the Semez Z2 840H windrower and the Semez P8 tedder. We have the Gouville G1015 round bale wrapper. We also have the Gouville G1 F125 round baler. We have the MKS 8 liquid tanker. And then we have the RA142 TMR mixer. Then we wrap it all up with a 650 and a 600 kilogram front weight. With respect to mods and DLCs, this map does not include any. Now we start at a kind of an interesting place here, looking at this little pond. A nice little sign here. And then we have our motorbike. Now, I will say that if we start this map up by not owning the starting farm, then we will not also have any machinery. So we will not have access to our motorbike or any other starting machinery that we've talked about. Now, I wanted to jump onto the motorbike real quick because this map has a nice little fun feature in a motocross course right by where we start. So I just wanted to have a little bit of fun and kind of make my way around this motocross course. And then we'll get on with the rest of our program. All right, there we go. Now, since this is a fairly small map, it's not going to take us too terribly long at all in order to drive up here to our starting farm location. In fact, it's right over here to our right. So once we pulled up in here, we do have our main cow barn. It's going to be able to hold 134 cows, of which we start out with 5. We have our dairy trigger. And then we're going to have our calving area, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Since this is a base game building, we know that we have our straw in our food trough inside here. We have a manure point right there where our manure spreader is located. Then our slurry point is located over here, again, where our slurry tanker is located. Right beside the main dairy, we have then our calving area, where we're going to withdraw manure for our calves. We have our food trough, we have our straw. And then we have our delivery point for our calves. Total of 20 calves is going to be available here. This is set up for bale storage, and we have 5 silage bales already in here. Then we also have another bale storage setup located right here. And we have 2 bales of straw and 2 bales of hay also already stored in here if we own the farm. We have our chicken coop. So we have our chicken delivery point. For a total of 360 chickens can be kept within here. We have our egg spawn point. And then this is going to be our dump point for our dairy operation. I assume we also dump our chicken feed here as well. We really don't see anything indicating that. Back over here to a little dairy, we have our dump point for our milk. We come inside. We have our interactive icon for our farm dairy. We're going to be able to make bottled buffalo milk, buffalo mozzarella, as well as butter, cheese, chocolate, and regular bottled milk. Inside here, we're going to find our dairy operation, and our pallets are going to spawn right here. And we're going to be able to get those out through the double doors. We have our farm silo, so we have our fill pipe. We have our dump point. We have some machinery scattered around here. Some more nice machinery, and that's pretty much the starting farm. It's just kind of taking us up and around to access field 44, which we own at the start. And I believe our farmhouse is down here by the road. Now, as far as map performance, I was able to get pretty good performance on this map, at least pretty good performance, I thought. I was getting frames, 35 frames on the lower end to upper 40s on the higher end. So, of course, if we talk about our recommended custom medium settings with frame gen turned on, then to our eyes, we're looking anywhere between 70 FPS and, well, upper 40s would be close to 90 FPS. So pretty good. We've got our wardrobe trigger and our sleep trigger, like I said, at our farmhouse here, right by the street. Now I've gone ahead and purchased the other animal areas. So let's toggle through the animals. We have 5 cows in one of the open pastures. We have 4 chickens at the secondary farm where we have also our sheep and goats. We have 8 sheep at the horse or the sheep barn. We have 9 goats, or 7 goats, I guess I should say, down at the sheep and goat barn. We have then the 5 cows at our main farm, 3 calves at the main farm. We have our 6 chickens at the main farm. We have another 5 cows at the other open pasture. And then we have 5 horses at the horse pasture. Let's get a little bit of altitude here. We can see the little town that we are working with. We have our starting farm right there. Just down the road, we had, of course, the dirt bike motocross course with the pond where we started the map at. And then just south of that, we have the sheep and goat farm. Farmland ID 26. So we have a sleep and wardrobe trigger. We have our delivery point for our sheep or goats. We're going to be able to have a total of 74 sheep or goats here. We're going to have our food trough and our bale trigger right here on the side. And then our pallets of wool or milk are going to spawn over here. We have our chicken coop, right? So we have our feed trough, we have our egg spawn point, and we're going to be able to hold a total of 20 chickens here. As far as our goat milk dairy, well, that's going to be located inside here. So we have our dump point. I'm assuming our pallets are going to spawn back here. We have our interactive icon. And as you see, we have goat milk or goat cheese. As far as our farm side that goes, we have a fill pipe and a dump point, and this is going to be for hay and straw exclusively. So this is a hayloft. Misspoke when I called it a silo. Now, as far as the other animal areas go, if we make our way diagonal to the northwest from the sheep and goats, we're going to find our way over here to Farmland ID 36. And that's where we're going to find the other cow pasture, or one of the cow pastures. This cow pasture is good for 41 cows or buffalo. We have water trigger, bale trigger, and a food trough. And then we also have a barn here that's going to be available for use. Well, I thought it was going to be available for use. Yep, we got to go inside to unlock it. Our other cow pasture is going to be basically directly east of that. Farmland ID 46. You see those cows right there. We're set up with 47 cows here, food, bale, and water. Make our way to the north from that cow pasture. You're going to find the horse pasture. This area is kind of neat because we've got a kind of little horse giddy up out front. We're good with 16 horses here. Food, bale, and water. And then at this same general area, we have our flour mill. So we have our dump point there. We have our interactive icon. And inside we have our pallet spawn point for our flour. And then we have a sheep pasture at farmland ID 42. It's located right here. So we have our food. We have our wool, our milk. Then we have our delivery point for sheep or goats for a total of 79 sheep or goats here. Conveniently right next to our tailor. Right? Kind of neat. So let's quickly make our way back to our starting farm. Right here. And then we'll kind of talk about the other things that are available here on the map. Since it is such a small map, things are quite condensed. Just up from the starting farm over here on our right, we're going to have a trigger to draw water out of the little river here, a little creek. And we're going to have a sell point for our farmer's goods. Don't mind me, I'm just cutting through the yard. Because over here we have then our bakery. And we've already talked about our tailor, because right there is the sheeps. Continue to make our way to the north a little bit. We do have a grain sell point here, as well as a bale sell point and pallet sell point. We make our way over to the western side of the map. Here we're going to have our animal dealer, so we have a buy point for manure. We have our stone crusher. We have a buy point for lime. We have a buy point for slurry. We have a grain sell point. And then we have our animal dealer trigger itself. And then more sell point areas here to buy and sell your warehouse good. We make our way now back just beside the motocross course. We're going to have another sell point. This one is identified as Land Trade Plus. So we have our grain dump point. We have our bale and pallet point there. We make our way to the kind of southern village. So that's the northern village. Here's the southern village. We have the sheep and goat farm here. Let's make our way up the backyards. Why not? really a nice little details on the map. We have another sell point. Here, the restaurant. And then we have a buy point up here for water around the corner. So that is located right there. Let's make our way just kind of back. Down the road. Here we have our dealer trigger for servicing our vehicles. Fuel. And then our dealer trigger to buy vehicles. And you see all the vehicles we purchase, well, they're going to spawn back here in the lot behind the dealer. So, given the size of the field and the size of the maps, I think we have an adequate space here for vehicles to spawn, adequate gate to get out of this particular area. Just up from the vehicle dealer, we're going to have our dairy, our town dairy, located right here. Then we have one more point of interest, kind of in the southeast corner of the map. Figured we can make our way over there using our Mahindra. Overall, I think this is a nice little map. I think it may be a little bit of a stretch for, say, multiplayer with 3 players. Unless, of course, you're willing to all work with smaller machinery and such. But it's definitely a nice map for single player if you're looking to play small machinery, or maybe you're looking to go kind of a vintage route with respect to older machinery. So here we have another pallet and bale sell point. We have a grain sell point. And that's going to wrap up this map video. I'd love to know again what your thoughts are down in the comments below with respect to this particular map. And until next time, happy farming.